Economic structures have helped to promote this concept as reality. Where do we get the tools to take control of our career path in the present and future? Welcome to the Career Confidant with your host, Marie Zimenoff. Marie and her guest experts are here to provide you with the tools you need to move forward and achieve your career goals. Now, here is Marie Zimenoff.
Hello and welcome to the Career Confidant. We're excited to be here today with Kris McGuigan, who is an author, a career coach, and a trainer who helps people get the courage to achieve what they want to achieve in their career. So Kris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Marie.
Yes, so today we're going to talk about your book, The Requisite Courage, How to Make Those Decisions in Life and in Business. So tell me a little bit about the background behind this book, because I know it's been like a decade coming, right?
It sure has, possibly longer than that. As all career coaches know, and anyone who's really trying to navigate their career, navigate their life, there's oftentimes that we kind of encounter a lot of external and internal change you choose, change that comes at you that you didn't choose. And in my own life and in talking with clients, I found that even when we chose change, when we chose to be courageous and make a shift, it didn't necessarily make the journey any less difficult or scary. And every time we moved to a next level or a client would share a story of moving to this next stage, it required unprecedented levels of courage. And along that path, I wish that someone had given me a map, kind of just a way to navigate all of those dark spots and shine a light on the areas of self-actualization that would have happened along the way. And so when I was thinking about the best way to not only serve my clients, to document what I had been through, both successfully and unsuccessfully, and then to kind of move things forward into the future, writing a book on that and creating a roadmap for other people to navigate those brave decisions seemed like the best approach. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, even when we choose something, it's not easy. And of course, sometimes, and I know you don't mean this by our book, but I just kind of wanted to put it out there because I'm sure you've seen some of the chatter going around courage right now. But that courage doesn't mean that we aren't saying that everyone just needs courage to be able to do something, right? We know that there are systemic issues that keep people from achieving their goals, and there are big mountains and big problems that need to be solved. And when it comes right down to it, your book gives people some practical things that they can do to take the actions they can take and have that courage and confidence to do what they can do towards their goals. So I love that, right? We've got to have that personal agency towards whatever we want to do, in addition to recognizing that that personal agency isn't always everything, and maybe isn't always enough for people to achieve their goals, right?
Absolutely. And then also kind of the courage to face what's outside of their control and try to handle that within the means that they have within life.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the tenets of courage that show up in the book. What are some of the frameworks that you share?
Absolutely. So we talk about the 3 C's of courage: clarity, conviction, and constancy. And beyond just, clever alliteration, these were really the tenets that we saw come forward in the 7 years of research that we've done with clients again and again, who really was most successful at stepping up and stepping out in their career. And when we looked at that information across the board, it was these 3 things: clarity, really understanding who you are and what it is that you want; having the conviction to hold strong to your purpose and really be able to navigate the tough areas like the fears, how to navigate through them, but also to embrace the things that really are serving you in life, letting go of those that do not. And then constancy, this idea of having the consistency that we're always encouraged to employ, but don't always have, quite frankly, the capacity to do so, matching that with resilience. So this idea of really moving forward in a powerful way, taking action, but also having personal grace when you just don't have the ability to do so.
Yes, that's so important. I know that right now everybody's thinking about their New Year's resolutions, right?
Of course.
And we know that most of those fail in the first few months of the year. And it
Right.
sounds like to me that constancy is this concept of, just because you don't do it today or you can't do it right now because of something or you're sick or your kids or whatever, that doesn't mean that it's not a constant in your life and you pick it back up as soon as you're able to, whether that's eating well or exercise. I hesitate to make any New Year's resolutions around those things because those are lifelong constancy things for me, right? Those are, you pick
Mhm.
it up every day and you do your best with it every day, not kind of this flash in the pan. I don't know if that relates to what you were talking about.
It absolutely does. Yes. So just that endurance and understanding that it's okay to slip, but that doesn't mean that we can't just get back up again and or make accommodations and adjustments to our environment. So that third C, we actually talk about 4 different pillars that build that up. And one of them that you're referencing is this idea of pausing over pushing, recognizing that sometimes it's not about just continually driving ourselves forward relentlessly, because sometimes it is, I need to take a step back and reassess and evaluate where I'm at.
I love that. And then clarity, that's one of the challenges that I feel like people are struggling with right now, that
Mhm.
we've got so much going on and what should we do and layoffs and good labor market, bad labor market. How do people navigate all of that with this clarity piece?
Absolutely. So I really think that self-discovery, truly understanding what is meaningful to you in your work and your personal life, and hopefully some of those things cross over nicely, and aligning with those values is that key to success, right? When I think of values, I describe them as the purest part of who you are, and no one has the ability to change that. Not your boss, your coworkers, an annoying neighbor, your partner, your kids, no one has the ability to mess with that. And the things that take place, the changes again that are sometimes thrust upon us, doesn't change our values. And so the beauty is that once you're clear about your values can begin to drive decisions. Decisions then drive action, and action drive results. So I really believe that acknowledgement of who we are and aligning our actions and decisions to that is the key to successfully navigating any change in our career.
Oh, that's so powerful. And when we get lost, when people feel lost, I always feel like, well, to me, that's almost this simple acknowledgement that we're looking outside instead of inside, because you can
Mm,
never be lost really
yes.
if you know who you are, right? Because you will know,
Yes.
you'll know where you're going, and even though you may not be there yet. And so I love that idea that if you have those guiding posts, but really you'll never be lost. You may be in transition and you may be seeking, but you're not really lost.
Agreed. And sometimes I don't even know who I am, right? So I sometimes you're in a place that's so dark, you're not even sure exactly who you are, but you do know what's important to you. And being able to again kind of rest on that foundation and say, this is the way that I'm going to approach decisions that I'm confronted with, even day by day, minute by minute, is going to get you back to that point of understanding and authenticity around who you are as a whole and who you hope to become.
And that's just so part of the challenge, I think, for people, especially right now, is taking that time to reconnect with who you are when perhaps it feels like you don't have time or it doesn't matter or there's so many external factors and that. And I just hear from you that if people can take the time and take a breath and get recentered with that, that some of the
Mhm.
other external pieces might be easier to navigate.
100%. And there's great tools out there that we've all heard of, objective assessments on the marketplace like Myers-Briggs and the Enneagram, and here's the inventory, great tools and processes you can go through to really kind of give yourself a sense of what's meaningful to you. But it also can be simply having a conversation with a curious companion, or even just journaling, if that's more your style, can help bring forward some of those preferences, those tendencies, those themes in your life. This is just such a great time of year during the holidays, as we see the calendar year coming to a close, to just pose questions to yourself like, what do I like to do the most? And what can I do without thinking too much about it? What are the things that I was most known for in 2022? And are those the same thing that I hope to be known for in 2023? So, really just having a conversation and being thoughtful about the responses, reflecting back on those responses and listening, evaluating your answers can pull out some of those key values that will really point you in a direction of where you'd like to go next.
Yeah, yes. Well, and that brings up an important thought about as we close out 2022, a lot of people like streamline it into 2023 goals, right? New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
And instead, taking that time to reflect on what did I enjoy about 2022, when I was my best?
Mm,
What did I want to bring into 2023? What were some of the things that people said about me? What were some of my, just all of those questions about accomplishments and rewards that you can give yourself for this year before you move on to next year. So that's a very powerful idea. I like that.
absolutely. Thank you.
So we've talked a little bit about Kurt with the first one. We talked a little bit about clarity and
Clarity, yeah.
about the
Conviction.
constancy. So let's talk a little bit about conviction. Tell me more about what that means.
Absolutely. So again, conviction is this idea of really holding strong in your purpose. And in order to do that and really connect, it's around understanding and embracing the things that are actually serving us. So a growth mindset, reflecting again on what has served us over the last year and how we bring that forward, as you just said, into the new year. But it's also about letting go of what does not serve us, which for me, most often in life, I call it burn the plan, right? I'm a huge planner. I'm a total type A. But this idea of sometimes the plan just no longer serves me. Maybe I'm taking my business in a direction and I'm headstrong in that, but it's not the right place or it doesn't serve my clients in the right way anymore. Or maybe we had a great plan for how to navigate 2020, 2021, and the pandemic came. So it was time to burn that plan and shift into a new direction. So that often means we have to face some fears that are standing in our way, but really being able to let go of what doesn't serve you, even if that means letting go of a well-mastered plan and embracing this growth and experimental mindset that will serve us and allow us to stay convicted in our purpose.
I love that. So there's this idea that if we set a goal and we don't reach it, we're a failure. And
Mm,
instead, it's if we set a goal and it needs to shift, we win, right? We win because we
yes.
realized that it needed to shift and we shifted with it.
Absolutely, right. And with every failure, we're certainly doing more and more of that learning that applies to the next time and the next time. And can then, as leaders, certainly reflect that back and show other people what resilience looks like and how to leverage our failures.
Oh man, I think that's just powerful as we go into the end of the year and you may have expectations around anything, right? The holidays, the new year, the whatever it might be, whether it's a plan or an expectation, and then it doesn't work out and we think, oh my goodness, this is just never, I'm a failure. And I love that reframe because it just is brilliant to think about it in a different way. So we are going to take a short break. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we're actually going to go into the audio only part of the conversation. If you want to keep listening in, you can go to careerconfidant.com backslash professional courage. So PROF courage. And if you go there, you'll hear the rest of the show as we continue on this conversation. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be back in